Hello and welcome to Newstorm. I'm your host Chris with the CHRILLCAST, and today we have kind of a weird subject. It's me being nitpicky, but I think it's important, so let's get into it. If you like that we cover this kind of stuff, comment down below. Make sure, as always, to like the video and subscribe, because this is just fun stuff. So here we go. All right. For those that don't know, there are essentially, three versions of Battletoads. There's this one, the NES version, the first one, right? This is a big version of the cart. That's the version that I know from my friends and playing with my friends and having fun doing it. There's also this version. I don't recommend it, although some people do prefer this art style and some of the music contained in this version of the game. However, I personally don't care for it, so we're not really even going to talk about it because I have a beef with this version of the game. This is Battletoads as is included with Rare Replay on the Xbox One and Xbox Series X. Probably the most widely available version of Battletoads for anybody that wants to play it, especially with the rise of Game Pass. But there's a pretty big issue I see with this game, and let's talk about it. So I was just playing the original Battletoads on the NES with my kids. Actually, I was playing it on the Super 8, but it's essentially Nintendo on a chip. Long story, but this is the color palette you get. It's a pretty muted screen with an enemy and the Battletoad character. You can clearly see him differentiated from the backdrop. Can clearly see the enemy differentiated from the backdrop. And due to the fact that it is a Nintendo on a chip console plugged into a Super Nintendo, the second level kept failing on me, which is pretty common amongst most Famiclones, NES on a chip consoles. So, no big deal. I'm planning on getting a different console to play it with here in the near future. But that's the palette I'm used to. Switched to the Xbox One, and I noticed this really odd thing. So, not only do you have the distracting Battletoads on the sides, which is cool, it's fine, whatever. But look at that color palette. Like, that is a strong green in the backdrop. And I noticed that I really get a little messy with my recognition of my character on the screen. It's pretty fuzzy trying to read that. The muted green has gotten a lot more bright. And I don't know if it's like Microsoft upped the contrast on this game or what. But man, is it hard to see your Battletoad on this screen playing this game. And it's such a shame because this should be the definitive version. This should be the best version. And it isn't. And it's specifically because of this horrible color palette that Microsoft has decided to implement on this game. Here, we'll move up to another part here. Everything's too bright. Go back to this one. You can see everything's kind of a little darker on the NES version. You really kind of distinguish your character. You go to the NES here. Yeah, you can see it, but everything is so bright. Let's see if we can get to another part here. Yeah, see, there's a lot more texture. Whereas in the original game, a lot of these backdrops were more muted, so you could see your character much better. Like, this is so much brighter. Everything is. That's not really the atmosphere. Here we go. Here's another one you can look at. You can clearly see these logs are different. Go to the Xbox One version. It's just, it feels a lot more noisy with the colors, with just some of the excess of fuzz they've added, it feels like. Let's see if we can find another good spot to compare. Here'll be another good one. If I can find that same spot here, hold on a second. Is this even the same part? I don't think it is. Ah, here we go. Again, we've got this green on the original. It's kind of a different color on the Xbox One. I just think the color palette is not as good as it could have been for it being a definitive edition, especially in the opening part. It's so distracting. And I'm not sure why that is, but clearly Microsoft went a different direction than what the original game was. And I'm not even going to talk about this. This is atrocious. Genesis version is clearly the worst version. Anyways, as always, let me know what you guys think. Do you like the Rare Replay version of Battletoads? Me personally, I wish they would have fixed this color palette, and it's unfortunate because in my opinion it makes it not the definitive edition of Battletoads. We pretty much have to stick to our guns with the original on the NES, and that's just going to be the way it is unless Microsoft goes back and corrects some of these color issues. Am I just petty, or is this a problem? Let me know. I'll see you all on the next one. Bye, guys.